Global higher education is expanding. Massive cohorts of international students routinely cross borders to study, requiring rapid acquisition of advanced communication skills for their fields. This influx places intense pressure on English for academic purposes, or EAP, practitioners. They must design programs for students with entirely different linguistic backgrounds who are heading into highly divergent disciplinary fields. Addressing these varying demands surfaces the central pedagogical dilemma of modern EAP curriculum design, the issue of specificity. The first pole is English for General Academic Purposes, or EGAP. It treats academic language as broad, transferable study skills applicable to any subject. The opposing pole is ESAP, viewing academic literacy as highly specialized, localized practices unique to each field. Choosing between these frameworks shifts the focus of every lesson, assignment, and assessment. This debate stems from conflicting theories about what academic English actually is. EAP professionals are forced to decide: do we prepare students by teaching a universal common core of language, or do we systematically decode the idiosyncratic discourses of their specific disciplines? The theoretical bedrock of the generalist approach is the concept of the common core, championed by researchers like Dudley Evans and St. John. This diagram maps out the common core, which assumes that all university disciplines share underlying universal similarities. Regardless of the major, students are expected to listen to lectures, read textbooks, take notes, and write summaries. This excerpt outlines rationales for EGAP. First, teacher expertise. Ruth Spack argues language teachers lack backgrounds to teach specialized conventions. Second, cognitive load. Learners need general English before discipline-specific vocabulary. Third, institutional politics. Anne Rames warns subject support risks a low-status butler stance. There is also a pedagogical fear that hyper-specific training operates like a rigid assembly line, producing writers who falter when handed unpredictable assignments. EGAP offers a manageable framework that protects the autonomy of language departments. However, its success relies entirely on the assumption that study skills transfer seamlessly across all academic contexts. ESAP advocates argue the Common Core model falls apart under rigorous sociolinguistic scrutiny. This section details counterarguments. First, subject lecturers rarely have time or linguistic meta-awareness to teach writing conventions. Research shows tutors view disciplinary conventions as self-evident, failing to spell out expectations. Furthermore, mastering general before specific English contradicts second language acquisition research. Language acquisition is rarely a linear sequence. Students often acquire specific language features precisely when they encounter a need for them in a concrete task. The primary challenge to the Common Core model emerges when we consider the relationship between meaning and context. Defining a common core is only possible if you isolate a finite set of grammatical forms, completely ignoring how those forms are actually deployed in reality. This diagram demonstrates how introducing context breaks the model. A single grammatical structure, like the passive voice, performs different functions depending on the field. In biology, it establishes objective methodology. In history, it might be used to obscure human agency. Without a specific context, EGAP reduces academic literacy to a set of discrete, value-free rules. It fails to teach students how language is actively used to create meaning within their actual fields of study. The ESAP approach is grounded in the philosophy of social constructionism. This visualization maps out a discourse community. It illustrates the core tenet of this philosophy. Academic disciplines are not merely collections of objective facts. They are communities, created and maintained by their unique communicative practices. The modern academy functions as a complex web of distinct, subject-specific literacies. This excerpt from Ken Hyland summarizes this subject-specific variation. Disciplines have different views of knowledge, research practices, and ways of seeing the world. Generic labels provide a convenient shorthand, but mask immense discursive complexity. The structure of an essay changes drastically depending on the department. The expectations evoked by an assignment label in one field are often completely foreign in another. These realities redefine the role of the modern EAP practitioner. Instructional goals move beyond remediating grammar or polishing style toward actively socializing students into their target discourse communities. Mastery of these highly specific disciplinary genres is what grants students access to the cultural capital required for academic and professional success. To empower learners, EAP instruction must abandon the myth of the monolithic academic English and take specificity seriously. Literacy is inextricably bound to the beliefs and practices of the social group it serves.